Welcome back to Keystone Prime. I'm B. Dean Barry, and we've got truck 1 sitting out here now. Look how beautiful this thing is. Now there's a couple of imperfections. Those are going to be cleaned up with some wet sanding here very soon, getting those imperfections out as well. Tape stripe is going on right in that median area between the truck bed liner and the paint to kind of blend it a little better. Wanted to kind of get that liner on there in the first place to stop the rust before the paint even went on, and this is just the things you deal with when you do custom painting. Now, the equipment of a chase vehicle is what makes a chase vehicle, and today we're going to turn it into a chase vehicle. The interior is torn apart already, so let's get started. We're going to go ahead and put the hood lights on. It's a unique set of lights. It's the same model as the ones on the fender, however, they're on brackets that go up on the hood, so we'll get those on. They're pretty easy. We should probably go ahead and sync these while we have them off the truck. Let's go ahead and do that now. Black, black, shove these in the ground side, tie all the yellows together, tie all of the whites together, all of the reds together. Alright, so this one and this one are going to flash together. So these two are together, these two are together. Yeah, I want those on differing sides. So we'll take this one, 1, 2, 3, and we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, disconnect, reconnect. Take a look at how those sit. I don't hate it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and yank this. So this radio is a factory radio. It doesn't work. And the guy who sold it to me told me that there was an aftermarket head unit in this that somebody messed up the wiring harness on. And I don't see any bolts holding it in, so let's just go ahead and take it out. I guess they did mess up the wiring on it. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's just go ahead and stick that back in the hole. We can just bury that. This will be the home of our two-way radios. We have two of them, as well as the switch panel. So we're going to take this panel inside and modify it. All right. So now we have our new no-name switch panel. It's a wireless version. Basically, how it goes on is this little head attaches to that little bracket. We got to figure out a good angle for that bracket. And where would be the best place on this fascia to put it? And I think I know. If we put it here, you're not going to have all the bracket space you need, and it's going to cut off room for the radios a little bit. But if you put it right here on this facing panel, it's going to have a little angle to it, but you'll have all the room you need. Very easily do that. Let's go ahead and take these out of the Stay Fresh packaging. And we want to line it up to look relatively straight on. And that'll work. There we go. Remember the golden rule. No, I didn't use a ruler. I didn't use a measuring tape. I used my eyeballs. And in these cases, if it looks straight, it's straight. There we go. There we go. And we're going to need a hole for the USB cable to go through. Matter of fact, I'll put it right here by that stalk so we can just zip tie it straight to it. Need a little more. There we go. Perfect. All right, so we got this great big ugly hole left right here. Now we have to figure out how we're going to fill that. We're going to fill that with a Yaesu FTM 7250DR and a Kenwood TK5820 UHF. But how do we mount it and how do we take up this space? Don't worry, we're going to show you. That's what I was going to do at least. However, the graphics came in, so we decided to do that instead. so this is a Yaesu FT7250DR. That's a dual band analog and system fusion digital mobile. Kenwood TK5820 UHF, and that is analog and P25 digital, and they need to go in this hole. So first, you know, we've already done a lot of work here, but you want to see where exactly they're going to sit. And they're going to pretty much fill up this hole right here. There's a way to make that happen, and I know how to do it. Well, that was an incredibly brutal install, but we got it in there. It's supported by cardboard throughout here, and I'm going to replace that with high-density foam. We're also going to get some ABS plastic from the shop, and we're going to go ahead and behind this panel, we're going to make a little trim so that you can't see the holes that are here. Seal that off, make it look factory stock. Okay, time to install the main control box for the switch panel, which is this little guy right here. It's wireless, and it's actually kind of compact. So all I need to do is find a place where I can install it that can fit it, and I think I found a place right there. See all this padding? Let's just get rid of that. There's one, and will it close that way? Yes, it will. It'll clear perfectly. Go ahead and drop the second screw in right here. There we go. Good and solid. Closes properly. There's plenty of room for the wiring harness to clear. And it faces out. That's an ignition wire. It faces out so that I can change fuses and install the wiring. And that wiring will be going right through that firewall. See what we hit. Alright, so I was in here last night doing some work, and here's all of your antenna leads coming through, including this big router lead for the 4G LTE antenna. And that is all going down the D-pillar here. We're going to route it all down the D-pillar. Got a lot going on in here right now. We're already starting to get some of these devices into place. So we have the 3-outlet plug sockets and the CB radio there. Antenna mounts. We're going to go ahead and glue these up with some RTV silicone so they don't leak. Alright, we got to get our power supply for the routers and the internet, the Starlink, all that stuff up and running. And as usual, I went to Advance and picked up one of these little guys. These are actually very useful. Now here's the funny thing. I could just plug it into this socket right here. That thing's dead. I don't know why, but the previous owners chopped off the little 16 gauge wire and installed a huge fat power cable to it to go to a stereo amplifier. It's probably a blown fuse, so we're going to go ahead and try to repair that. Look at all of this cut up, spliced up shit back here. Oh, he had a system. It was all hooked to the factory wiring. Oh my God. I'm going to have to straight wire this thing. I really don't like using double-sided tape to mount things, but this didn't even leave me with the option of holes. And unless I get pan heads on the bottom, I'm not getting any screws in there. In place. Gotta find some electrical tape. I think there's some in this bag. We're gonna do it old school style, very gnarly. I don't care. Do they work? They do. They all work. Oh, let's do one at a time. This power cord's going to a router from our potential future friends at Mobile Must-Haves. Telling you guys, way back in. And let's get a good twist on them. We made that. I measured this out using the inside of the truck. There's a place where I can go right here to get a cable through. We're going to go right there. Or you need side floodlights doing media. You're not going to get that damage otherwise. Let's just shove that into the interior. This is why we have RTV. Just shove all that inside. Let's get the sharp dangly bits out of the way, because I love getting sliced up on sheet metal. Drop that in there. Get that nylon nut all the way up against there. Okay. It doesn't matter what it looks like because it's on the roof. Who's going to see it? Now that one isn't too bad on the burrs. Once again, let's let the shop vac in the interior take care of these metal shavings. We'll just shove them right back through the hole. Let's get this thing seated. Okay, that's in place. Now we RTV the shit out of that. We're sealed. It's just that easy, guys. You can drill holes in your car. I do it all the time. It's fine. All right, and now the flood bars are on. Check this out. I've had these flood bars for at least 10 years. They have been on all of my Chase trucks so far, except for truck 2. And with a few self-tappers, they are a part of the luggage rack now. All right, I put it on these standoff brackets right here. I'll be able to plop the headliner back in underneath of it, you know what I mean? And that will go seamlessly, I'm sure, with no problems. All right, we're to the questionable rat's nest stage of the build, where we've been doing electrical under this panel for a little while now. We're about to start buttoning all of this up, but we got to clean that up a lot more first. All right, we're getting the power itself in. There's that great big battery cable going up through that grommet in the firewall. We're going to go to this True Mods 200 amp switched relay, and that'll go off the ignition. Take a look at the other side. I got more than enough cable. It's coming up out of there. We're going to do a circuit breaker in the line like right over here, and then it's going to go to the positive battery terminal. All right, as you can see, the sun's going down. We are racing the clock. We have the main circuit breaker in. We're just going to connect to battery. Now, there's a lot left undone. However, what we have managed to do under the dash is get things cleaned up quite a bit. And tomorrow, I believe, we will be complete and we'll be reinstalling the interior. All right, we got more of the control wiring and the control system going in. This is all of the flood lighting and the rear emergency lighting. We're going to go up to this box here, which is being plumbed currently. And we're going to come back right after we get it hooked up. Okay, now we're putting the interior back together. We finished up the wiring. Everything's cleaned up. We'll give you a little demonstration here in a second, but we got to put some of these kick panels back. There we go. It was about here that I once again figured out the camera had died. You figured I'd learn about that by now. Well, now the interior has been put back together. The whole thing's been reassembled, including some custom work, but we've got a lot we've got to clean out. And that clean out came just in time for Truck 1's first public event, the Meet the Chasers event. Keystone Prime Media Services, and this is your Keystone Prime Cast. This event saw more than 40 chasers from everywhere, including Tim Marshall, who gave an excellent presentation.
So it has to hit something high-end, not a house, but more like a school, all right? And it just hasn't happened. So it hasn't happened.
The technical kit I'll go over in another video, but it includes a lot of equipment. It's mostly transferable between the two vehicles. Each of the 3 fleet trucks has a RAM mount floor plate upon which this computer stand can ride. It includes all the streaming cameras, the unit end scanner, and everything else that you're going to find in my Chase vehicles. I already knew the wheels were bad, and the previous owner told me some things about it, but I was still shocked to see literal construction washers used as spacers in the front wheels. Construction washers. They were uneven and were vibrating the ride constantly, and this was pretty much the last thing I had to do to make this truck completely roadworthy. So we went ahead and got these washers out of here to give a little bit of a chance for the front end to realign, and we got some 1.5-inch spacers, went ahead and threw those on, popped the tires back on, and went for a test drive. And this was really the last thing needed for this truck. I know it's not chase equipment. This should have gone in the last video, but these spacers didn't get here until I was halfway through editing this video. But popping those on gave it a much more aggressive look and made it ride glass smooth on the road. I should also mention that the tracks were unequal. There were no washers on the back, so the front end was at least 1 inch wider than the rear initially. And with all of this done, I'd like to introduce you guys to Truck 1. Thank you guys so much for watching this transformation into a full-fledged storm chasing truck. Please like and subscribe and share if you like what you're seeing. For Keystone Prime, I'm B. Dean Barry, and I thank you guys for watching.